I'm Jade McNeil and welcome to the B-Space podcast, your bi-weekly dose of business and property realness. No hype, no fluff, and definitely no BS. Just honest conversations about what it really takes to build something from nothing. Hello. Welcome to the B-Space podcast. So today it is a lovely solo episode. It's the end of July 2025. Which means only one thing if you are currently living in England, in the UK, that it's probably the school summer holidays, which means typically that the children are off school somewhere between 5 and 6 weeks in most places. Although I do hear in Northern Ireland it's more like 11 weeks. So, it's a funny old time of year if you're, sat there and you're self-employed and you've got children. Talking to clients this year more than ever, I've really sensed from feedback and from talking to people that it's been, because of the way that Easter fell and then the May half term fell, kind of like relentless in terms of, being in school or not being in school and doing the juggle. And it's really had a wider effect on people, definitely from my inner circles, of self-employed business owners. And here we are, the end of July 2025. And it's happened, I kind of joke from, maybe February onwards, August. It's coming. The school holidays are coming. And I have to really kind of sit with myself and say, why do I feel like that? Like, it's such a privilege to be able to take time off with my children and be with them. But that's the thing right there. It's like, I'm not off, am I? Like, it doesn't change in my world. I don't press pause on my clients. I don't press pause on my houses. I don't press pause on my developments. Like, nothing stops, but yet my situation changes. So obviously, that even for me, like, my kids are like 8 and 10 now, so they're a bit older, causes a sense of apprehension on the run up to it. And definitely for me now, it's more a case of, how am I going to keep them entertained? How am I going to keep them off screens for, all the time? Because I really don't want that for them. How am I going to keep myself sane? How am I going to keep the businesses moving forward? How am I going to keep in service to the different, entities that I described that are in my life? And also while retaining a smile on my face. I mean, I, like many people out there, am the main caregiver to the kids. So, like, if the kids are off, it's just the unsaid thing that I will be taking care of them. So I have to get prepared in advance mentally and physically to be prepared for the summer holidays when they roll around, which is now. We're here, like, it's the end of July. So I did an episode last year kind of highlighting what my approach is, and I thought, I'm going to do it again this year, just to kind of help anyone that's in a similar situation. And maybe some of the things that I'm going to run through might be able to help you, make things kind of a little bit easier, as it were. I think it's really important, though, before we kind of jump into, try this, do that, is that we be realistic and we be really, really honest with our situation and what the possibilities are around us and what we can achieve. Women, in particular, have a way of taking more and more on. There's a danger, particularly in the school holidays, that we'll try and keep at the level that we're at when it's term time. But actually, we've got eight less hours available to us in the working day because we're in entertainment mode. I think we need to be really realistic about what is going to be possible in the next, 4 to 6 weeks. So let's really think about what feels realistic to you. So, how many hours, if you've got your children full time like I do, like, how many hours during the working day can you continue to give to your business? Let's be realistic about that. It would be the worst possible case scenario for both your business and for your children for you to try and be the perfect person across both. I think particularly if you're in the early stages of business and you're spread thin anyway, there's a real danger there. So we need to have a real, sense of awareness and perspective that we're not spreading ourselves too thin. So, things still need to happen to progress and to move forward and to be maintained. So like what levels of time, let's call this the golden hour, what golden hour could you give to your day where you do serve your business and you keep things moving forward? A great time for me, my golden hour typically happens between 7 and 8 a.m. in the morning. This works for me because, the kids woken up, they're watching television, they're having breakfast in bed, lucky them. They kind of don't really want much or need much from me at that point in the day. My guys are old enough to say, look, this is when mummy does work, and they go, yep, cool, don't want to speak to you anyway. I kind of get my head down and I look at what the priorities are, people I might need to answer, things I need to, get back to people on. For me, typically this will be my clients. It'll also be any responses to, let's say, estate agents or solicitors or anything to do with the property developments, the projects moving forward. Just keeping one eye on that, on the real important high level tasks. And that is what I'll effectively do within that hour. So it's like, where can you carve out that hour? And also think about, when are you at your best? Only you know that. I mean, is it 8 o'clock at night after you've been parenting all day? You've been to Red Kangaroo in the park and God knows where else, and you've cooked 800 meals. Like, are you actually your best self at that point in the day? I know I'm not. So that's why I do things in the morning when, first coffee of the day, brain's in a good place. Like, let's eat the frog, as it were, and let's get all the work out of the way. So really think about realistically, like, when can you carve the golden hour from outside of your day? Because that's gonna save you, and that's gonna help you really keep on top of the workload. Then we're moving on to self-systemisation. That kind of, is a key part to this, and really think about, like, how are you personally systemising you? We can have as many systems, for the team, and that's kind of another subject for another day, and they all need to do their job, and you need to be communicating within there. But how are you doing it for you? So, only today on a one-to-one client call, we were talking about this very subject, and I showed my client the very, very simple app that I use, which is Microsoft To Do. And that's got my to-do list in, broken up into different areas of the different things that I'm responsible for, both business and personal, and actions that I need to get sorted. So I can check in with that app in the morning and in the evening, and just kind of see, like, where are the priorities, where am I at, what do I need to get done, what has to happen, what can kind of wait for a little bit, what's not a priority. But if you've got that written down on a piece of paper or in a notebook, that's easily lost, easily misplaced. You have to go and find it. Like, if your self-systemisation isn't on point, it's not going to help. So really think to yourself, do I have that nailed? Can I just pick my phone up and be like, yeah, bam, 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 that is the stuff that needs to get done tomorrow morning? And thinking about the time that's available, I really like to, at the end of the day, look at my to-do list and go, right, this is the priorities for tomorrow. This will be the priorities in the golden hour in the morning. And just kind of utilise it and go, yep, good, we're good to go. I know what I need to get done. Wake up, sort it, and then crack on the day with the children, and kind of using that self-systemisation in terms of what is the app that I'm using to see that, and it's not just on a scrappy piece of paper or even written in notes, but like with no logistical order. Like that's pointless. It's just more noise. It's more overwhelm. Like, really think about that self-systemisation, but on the most simplistic level. That's what works. I've spoke about this before on the pod, I'm pretty sure, but I'm such a creative visual person that if you give me systems that are too complicated, I'm never going to use them. I'm going to be like, no, that's just not fun. So I'm not going to do that. So simplicity for a person like me is really, really key. You might not be very tech savvy, or that might be not one of your strong points. Then simple systemization is where it's at. I'm not saying no to notebooks forever, but look, the way that we are, the way that we live, our phone's always in our back pocket. You can just pick it up and check in with that to-do list. You could be out with the kids and they could be bouncing on trampolines somewhere, running around with their friends, and you might be able to get a bit of work done. Like, you need access to your phone, to your Mac. You can do things on the move, and there'll be chunks of time available, within fun activities that the kids are doing, where you can just kind of, check in, see what the priorities are, and get some of those ticked off. But if your self-systemisation is not on point, you won't be able to do it. This episode of the Be Space podcast is kindly sponsored by the wonderful people at Landlord Furniture Co. Specialising in a huge range of high-quality bespoke furniture, Landlord Furniture Co. provides durable pieces designed to last in your rental properties. If you're searching for the perfect furniture to attract professional HMO tenants, or need more resilient pieces for your student accommodations, considering cost-effective furniture packs for a larger property, or looking for something more personalised to elevate your serviced accommodation brand, whatever your need, Landlord Furniture Co. will craft a solution for you. You can say goodbye to rubbish old flat packs and start investing in a luxurious experience for your tenants. Backed by a 3-year warranty and exceptional customer service, they really are the smart choice for any landlord or property developer out there who takes their properties, their tenants and their business seriously. So ready to transform your spaces with Landlord Furniture Co. and ensure that your investments stand out in the market? Visit Landlord Furniture Co. today at www.landlordfurnitureco.co.uk, or you can head to their showroom, which is in Oldham, or find them over on Instagram at Landlord Furniture Co. Now, let's get back to the episode. Thinking about, your support system for the next 6 weeks, really think what is possible. You might be like me, I don't have access to lots of family members that want to constantly take the children away and, give me a bit of a break. It's me and the kids versus the world for 6 weeks, and that is the black and white fact of it. But, how can I draft other people in to help, take the edge off? It might be that it's going to holiday club, but I'll be quite frank with you, my two are a bit older now. They don't necessarily want to go there. And you can't make them, they're little people, mini little adults that know their own brains, and I don't want them to be unhappy and feel like they have to go. So it's really thinking about how we can, make it work. A great hack that I'd love to share with you all is my best friend. She's, same age as me, got 2 kids of similar ages. We concocted a great thing between us both a couple of years ago, where we do what we call kid swaps. So she'll take mine for the afternoon, and then maybe the next day I'll take hers. We also do where, I'll have her children overnight and then she'll have mine. And it just means that we can both just get a bit of time off, and kind of commit to that. The kids all get to play together. Everyone's a win-win. In terms of your business and your team, you've got to communicate with people. Nobody is expecting you to be super man or woman, at all points. You've got to be crystal clear and say, look, school holidays, I'm not going to be working at max capacity. You're better off being crystal clear with somebody rather than trying to kind of, muddle through and make it all work. And actually, guess what? Everyone's in the same boat. So people just will be like, yep, no problem whatsoever. What can I do to help? My business partners are like that. My staff are like that. They don't have the expectation that I'm going to be available as much. It's just that's great. Yeah, we know you're there in an emergency, but unless we really need you, we'll just leave you to enjoy your time with your children. If I didn't communicate to them, what the situation, then that could probably, cause issues down the line. So it's really important. Just be open and honest. You think you need to be the Superman or woman, but you don't. You are just a human. I talk a lot about, and I mentioned it before, about carving out times during the working week where you kind of commit to the different parts of the business that you need to specifically work on at that point. And it's also just really important for me to keep talking about that in the same capacity about personal time, especially in the school holidays. Really try and prioritize some time for you. Some time away, some peace and quiet, whatever that looks like for you. It could be walking the dog. It could be just, go for a swim. For me, I like to go and spend time with my horses without the kids, because that helps me keep me together and keep a lid on it. But I've got to see that as a priority to make it happen. I think, again, particularly women, because we like to just take so much on and say yes to everything. We don't see ourselves as, we're in service constantly, aren't we? So we don't see ourselves as a priority. But I think here's me telling you now, you need to make it. It could be 15 minutes in the evening. It could be, go for a long bath, like get some time for yourself, but you've got to make that a priority. It's got to happen, because you've got to keep everybody alive and fed and moving forward, and sane, including yourself. But ultimately, there is no magic pill that you can swallow to make the situation easier on yourself. It's tough. It's tough, being self-employed, your business doesn't stop, but your children need you, and you want to be there because you've created this business that, like for me, it's a lifestyle business. But yet you feel like you're letting the business down because, you might be with you're being with the children more, but then you want to be with the children more because they're your children, right? And let me tell you, I'll be completely honest with you, I still get mum guilt now, about even feeling like worried about the school holidays. I feel guilty because I'm so privileged that I don't have to go to an employer and say, please, sir, can I have 5.5 weeks unpaid holiday to look after my own children, which is just ludicrous. But I'm in a great privileged position where I don't have to do that and I can look after them. But yeah, I still feel worried. Why do I feel worried? Well, I just don't want to let anyone down from anything that I've built ultimately. But I think by, taking care of self-systemisation, by being realistic about, what I can do, what I can achieve, what the priorities are, by putting perspective into it is so important, and really thinking about that time that I've got available to work on the business just to keep everything steadily moving forward, and thinking about myself, like making me from time to time within the holiday period a priority and allowing myself that time off. But just know this, right? Just some sort of final perspective from me about the situation is the world is going to continue to spin. If you've created, a brand, a business that means something to others, that's got positivity, that's making a difference for the right reasons, then it's not just going to die overnight in 6 weeks. Trust me, it isn't. You've probably built your business off authenticity. I hope you have. Be honest with your audience, be honest with your clients, be honest and say, this is my situation where I'm at. This is my availability for you for this amount of period. And like I said before, you'll be surprised, like humans are humans and we can be pretty supportive when we want to be. So I don't know. I hope that helps. I don't have the perfect scenario in my head or in my home. But sometimes hearing other people say the things that's in your mind and maybe understanding what have they developed over the years to kind of help them manage and maintain what they've already built, hopefully will be helpful. But you know what? Reach out to me on Instagram, 3_BSpace. Like, let me know how the summer holidays are going. I can, have a chat. Let's share some DMs. I'm sure a lot of my one-to-one clients will be tagging me in stories of things that they're up to. And yeah, September, I think for me, I like to think about September as like new beginnings almost. I think it's such a beautiful time of year. You come in, the kids go back to school. Summer is on its way out. It's just beautiful. The countryside looks amazing. And it's such a great time to think about newness, and it will roll around. You will survive it and you will see it. All right, so listen, hang in there. I get it. I'm exactly the same, and yeah, I guess I'll see you on the other side. That's a wrap for another episode of the BSpace podcast. I've been your host, Jade McNeil, property developer, mentor, and business coach. Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite platforms. And until next time, remember, don't believe the hype and always keep it real.